Hi, this is Dan with Invest Rent to Own. Thanks for watching me today. I appreciate you sharing your time with me today as we learn more about investing rent to own and real estate strategies. Today we're going to cover the cash out refi strategy. It's a strategy that keeps your capital coming back in so that you can invest it out and get greater returns. So let's talk about what is the cash out refi strategy. Essentially, you buy a house, you fix it, you cash out refi rather than selling it, and then you repeat. So your capital keeps moving, but you keep accumulating more and more properties. That's what the cash out refi strategy is. Why would you do it? Maybe you've got a property that cash flows very well on its own, even if you have a higher mortgage on it and it's in an area that's appreciating. That's a great asset that you want to hold on to. Keep the cash flow coming, but pull your capital out so that you can invest it again. Why would you use a cash out refi strategy? Number one, it accelerates your velocity of money. Velocity of money is key. The ability to take your capital, to invest it somewhere, and then to get it back so that you can invest it somewhere else. That's what velocity of money is. If you're able to take something that's invested and put it in somewhere and get it back sooner so you can reinvest it, you're going to make more with that dollar. It's going to work harder for you in many different places than if you just put it one place, park it, and wait for years and years and years and years. I learned this early on doing a multifamily investment. I had it parked in an investment for 7 and 8 years, and I couldn't get the money out of it. It hurt because there were so many things I could do with it. With a cash out refi, you get your money back, you keep the asset, and you put it to work somewhere else. It's just another way to get access to capital. You have an entire portfolio perhaps that you are managing, and to use it to its greatest benefit is the key to good real estate investing. I always track a return on equity. A lot of people, you look at a deal and you look at return on investment. That's your initial investment. But after you own it for a little while, the key is to then minimize or maximize your return on equity. So perhaps as you pay down on a loan, or perhaps as the house appreciates, that equity is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That's the denominator that's driving your return down, down, down. If you can cash out of it and put it back to work at a higher rate of return, you should do that. It also increases your returns. That's exactly what I just described with returns on equity. So here's an example for you. Here's a house that I did a deal on not too long ago, a few months ago. I invest primarily in Ohio, and it's seeing a great increase this last year in 2021, and it's looking like that in the start of 2022 as well. This is the deal sheet that I use to analyze my deal. You can get this deal sheet for free just by clicking the link below, subscribing to my channel, and you will get this deal sheet for free. I've had many investors that I've sat down with said this thing is a gold mine, just the information that allows you to quickly analyze a deal. So let me walk through it with you for a minute here. So up top is some of the deal information. This is what it was initially listed for. It was an auction that bid up. I eventually bought it for $75,300. Down the left side, you'll see this is the capital gain information. So on my 2-year lease options, I'm selling this house for $115,000. I purchased it for $75,000. You have this spare equity. This is my estimated closing cost based off 1%. That's not really a commission. That's just my rule of thumb for about the seller's closing costs that I'll end up having. Fix up comes from in the middle here for an overall capital gain there. So if I just wanted to do a flip, I would pay attention to the left side of this. In the middle is information about the deal. What percent I put down, the overall down payment, the closing cost. This is what ends up being my fees for closing on the hard money loan that I used. I've also got other videos about hard money lenders that you can check out. Repairs, I had about $4,000 in repairs. I collected a $4,000 down payment for this particular thing. All drops down. This is what my total investment was. I also got a summary of return on investments here. I'll go through those one by one. Self-management, if I manage it on my own, then I'm not paying any management fees. That's the return I'm getting. Post-TX, TX is tax. So there are depreciation tax benefits that you can take advantage of. And so that's what that is, adding that depreciation tax benefit back in. That's why I've got my tax rate up there. Here is your monthly cash schedule, and it is annualized as well. You got rent, you got property taxes, insurance, the mortgage payments. You put in the interest rate, it self-calculates. It's a beautiful thing. You can put in whatever additional expenses that you have. I sold this rent to own, so there's no additional repair expenses that I have. On the right side, this is a new feature that I've added. This is what it looks like Cashout Refi. So if I carry over a lot of the same information, in this case, I had to get a little bit more insurance on the place to cover a higher mortgage. The payment, the rate drops because it's a different kind of loan. It's no longer a hard money loan. It's a rental loan. So the rate drops to 5.8, I think that is. You'll see there's not much difference there in payments overall. Down here, I like to use, so at the bottom, this is in the normal system where you see the market value, the loan, the capital gain, and then as you're holding on to it, that then annualizes what your return on investment is. So if I sold it at 1 year, I'd collect 1 year's worth of rent and get the full capital gain, and I'd get a 222% return on my money, so on and so forth. This uses those same kind of internal rate of return calculations. IRR calculation is in an Excel where it forecasts the in and outflows. I put $5,000 down when I won this foreclosure auction, then eventually closed on it, put a little bit of money in repairs, and began collecting cash flows. Then I'm refining, and in this case, I pulled out $61,000 out of this particular property. The property appraised for $180,000 after just $4,000 in work. I got a total value of 79 of what is in, but it appraised at 180, and they cashed me out at 70% loan to value, or 126. That 126 then paid off the 60,000 initial loan, and I got, after some additional fees, I got 66,000 is what was tappable. After some additional fees of new loan is what I got out of it. So you can see that the cash flow goes down by about half, but I've cashed out 61,000. So hold on a second. I invested just about $20,000, and after a 6-month period of time, I pulled out $61,000, and I still have got lots of equity left in this house. Now, you might say, you're speeding a little bit, and in this one I am actually. I have pre-sold this house for $115, and I've got a loan now on it on $126. So I need to be a little bit careful. If my buyer does decide to purchase it for $115, which I think this buyer will, I've got to bring money to closing. But I'd much rather take the money now and then 2 years from now when they close, give it back than keep a mortgage that is smaller. So all in all, my internal rate of return now is 243% on this particular deal. Wow. Show me some more of those deals, right? Well, here's a different one. I show you that was probably the best cash out refi that I've done in the last year. This one turned more or less a bad deal into a good deal for me. This was the first rent-to-own that I started on in this last year. I bought an area I'm familiar with, and so I knew it would do well in the long term. But as I got into this particular deal, the buyer that I chose wanted to do more fix-up to the house than I initially planned. More fix-up was needed. I bought it sight unseen. There were a lot of different things that I needed to do to course correct this particular deal. Probably paid too much of it at over $200,000 for this particular one, but I knew that this is an area that's going to go up and up and up. So ultimately, when it was all said and done, initially my cash flow is not all that great. I've got maybe a 10, 11% return. I'm thinking to myself, gosh, I'll just hold on to this. But as you can see, if I put the money in at $5,000 initially, $50,000, I put some more repairs than I initially thought I was going to need to. And then I do a cash out refi. Not only is my reduction in rate improving my cash flow situation, you can see it's $500 a month is what I'm netting. It's almost to $600 a month after the cash out refi. I'm getting $31,000 of my money back. So in this case, I'm not getting out more than I invested, but I'm getting some of it back. And that takes my returns from, instead of, the 11% hold kind of return, or losing money if I sell it right away, to barely breaking even if they purchase it at 2 years, to now, if they purchase it at 2 years, I'm at a 38% internal rate of return. So I turned a ho-hum kind of deal into a respectable 38% annualized rate of return on that deal. Not too shabby. So a few key points about cash out refis. You'll want to shop around to get lenders with different loan to values. That's what LTV is, the third bullet. Seasoning is key too. You'll want to ask the lenders, how long do I need to wait? How long do I need to be on title in order for you to accept an appraisal? Oftentimes, they'll only accept the purchase price up until a certain point. So if you have a lender that says, yeah, I want you to be on title for a year, I think you should keep shopping around, because there are some that will allow it to wait only 6 months, 4 months, or sometimes even 3 months. And in a fast-moving marketplace, you want to be able to have money in, money out, and be getting more and more property is the best strategy. And the appraisals are important. That's the key aspect. After the seasoning occurs, they'll take the value of the appraisal. So you got to make sure that your particular property is in as best a shape as it can be. I've had a couple of appraisals come back because there was a little bit of repairs that were needed here or there, and that's really slowed things down for me. Also, having tenants that are cooperative has been a key aspect too. Not being able to schedule the appraisals because the tenant's too busy or doesn't want to cooperate, that kind of makes things a little bit difficult. You also, just because it's a great strategy, doesn't mean you go out and do it in every situation. You have to check and make sure you're paying fees each time you refinance something. And you got to make sure whatever money you're taking out, right, that you're investing in a better place, or you're taking out enough to justify the fees that you're paying for it. And I can't give you a hard and fast rule for it. I will tell you, generally speaking, I'm looking to cash out $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 for the $3,000 to $5,000 in fees that then I end up paying as a result of the cash out. So in summary, I highly recommend that you think about this as one of your potential exit strategies. You can buy and hold, you can flip, you can rent to own, you can cash out refi. So this is just yet another tool in your tool bag of ways that you can make money with real estate. So keep your money moving faster with this tool in your tool bag. Keep maximizing your returns by pulling your money out, lowering that denominator so the cash flows that you're getting are commanding a better rate of return. And ultimately then, it's a great way that you can keep the asset and go and buy more of them. Okay, that tells you a little bit about the cash out refi strategy. Again, this is Dan with Rent to Own. If you liked what you saw here, I very much appreciate the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so I can produce more great content with you. And I look forward to talking to you soon.